This short presentation will focus on the professional development model known as communities of practice. Communities of practice are sometimes called professional learning communities as well. Communities of practice were defined by Love and Wagner in 1991 as a group of people who come together who share a common professional background, and through sharing information and having conversations with each other, they gain knowledge about their own profession, oftentimes creating that knowledge through those discussions. Communities of practice are typically comprised of individuals who have a similar background, definitely have a similar experience and a passion for a particular topic or field. Communities of practice are perhaps one of the more complicated professional development models. When we look at the outcomes of a community of practice, we talk about the creation of new knowledge. Knowledge and skills are created when individuals who are members of the community share resources, engage in discussion, problem solve in collaborative means, and then they apply what they have discussed back to their own profession and their own practices within the field and report that back to the community. Through that process, that knowledge is further refined. It's important to understand that communities of practice need to continually go through a refinement of that knowledge by discussing it and then applying it within their own practice and bringing those experiences back to the community. Communities of practice are powerful in that they create a sense of belonging among the membership of the community, and that reduces feelings of isolation. This is especially true when individuals who are part of that community may, in their daily practices, be few or even the only one who is engaged in in activities related to the practices associated with the community. There are a number of characteristics associated with a community of practice. Communities of practice often have their own vocabulary or their own slang. This is part of expediency of communication and efficiency of communication within the community. There is often a common subject that is being discussed, and that is based on common interest, common values, and common targets. There is often a sense of shared history, and which leads to a shared understanding about a particular area. Communities of practice aren't something that individuals go to and leave. The hallmark of communities of practice is that there is a ongoing dialogue between the members. Now, all members may not be active in all discussions, but there is this ongoing dialogue, and oftentimes topics are recursive. They come up again and again and are further refined. Communities of practice are organic in that the membership decides what the topics are, what is being discussed, what problems the group is sharing and encountering and solving. But there is an organization that is necessary for a community of practice to survive. There needs to be a set of individuals who take on certain leadership roles with the community to set parameters and encourage and drive and scaffold the discussions that are occurring. They also set parameters for how participation will occur, in that there needs to be a certain set of rules for what types of things are discussed by the community and what types of things may be discussed outside of the community. Additional characteristics include that sense of sustained engagement. Communities of practice are most effective when the conversations are extended over a period of time. This provides an opportunity for members of the community to discuss a certain issue, come to a degree of resolution, take that information, apply it to their own practices, and then report back to the community how that information has influenced those practices so that the community can further refine uh, the understanding of a particular topic. It is important that communities of practice have a variety of information sources and can be comprised of individuals with differentiated expertise. If these two pieces are not there, the community knowledge, while it does develop, doesn't necessarily develop in line with an understanding of where the field is on a particular topic and doesn't report back to the field that those experiences. In other words, for example, if a community of practice was comprised of novices in the field, the general knowledge among the members of that community is going to be limited when compared to a community that has access to information about research, information about standards of practice, and information provided by individuals who are very experienced in the field versus individuals who are a novice in the field. The community that has that degree of variety tends to be much more robust and tends to develop and refine knowledge at a greater pace and a greater depth of complexity and detail. Problems are a necessary component of communities of practice. They provide the impetus for discussion and refinement of knowledge to occur. Communities of practice also need to have a way of recording the knowledge that they create, storing that, organizing it, and then having a way to disseminate that among the members of that community. Finally, communities of practice need to have a structure that allows them to address what they think they know and what resources they have developed or shared, and to evaluate and refine them. Communities of practice, the knowledge within communities of practice should not be stagnant. There may be things that the community generally agrees upon, but as problems are introduced to the community based upon practical real life experiences, it is the responsibility of the community to go back to what they believe they know about that topic and either confirm that knowledge or to evaluate it and decide to refine that knowledge.